Welcome everyone to a restorative practice at home. I think this is one of the best ways to experience rest when you're in your environment, and if you can find a short amount of time for being by yourself. So today's practice will go for 20 minutes, but you can take any of the shapes and use that during your week just for little short stints of resting. Today's practice really is going to just be about how can we invite rest into our lives, into just a moment, and feel it deep down into ourselves. So before we get going, what you may like to gather for props, being at home, I have your studio props. If you've got a bolster and a blanket and a block, that's awesome. If you don't, that's fine. You may like to have maybe 2 to 3 cushions. If you have any shawls or throws or wraps or a blanket or 2, you may like to get them. And maybe some really big wide books that you can stack, maybe 2 or 3, because we're going to use this bolster, I'm going to use it underneath my shoulder blades across here for a gentle opening of my chest, and the block that I've got here is to rest my head on. So you might like that, and you probably would love to have some warm clothes, maybe your Uggies on or socks, and a blanket to pull up to your chin. So I'll pause for a moment, turn off the video, go and get your props, and we'll meet back here in a second. Okay, so I'm presuming you've got your props. And our first shape is going to be opening up our chest. So if you put down your prop that's going to hold your chest onto the mat, and maybe fold up a blanket or something just behind your head. The first way we're going to move is we're going to do a bound, well, it won't be bound, a cobbler's pose, where the soles of our feet can come together and our knees come out. But we'll start off with one leg. So one leg will be extended out and the other leg will be bent, sole of the foot against the thigh, and the knee comes down to the earth. And here we can use a blanket or a scarf and just prop it underneath the thigh. And just have an explore. Today is wonderful that you're at home because you can have an explore of what feels best for you. So just turn off the video and experiment. Some people prefer under the knee and some people prefer it up close towards the thigh bone. So that's how we're going to get started. So as you prepare and place your items down, one of the things about resting and restorative is we are here not to be like in yin, where we are trying to find an edge and hold that edge and allow the fascia to gently open. We are here to allow our bodies a space of time to feel that it is totally supported. This is the most radical practice if you choose and set your intention for this. Because as the body feels supported by the earth and by the props that you use, and it feels warm and snug, it allows your nervous system to slowly unfold, slowly unfurl out of a state of contraction. Because often life, we're doing, and there may be many experiences or circumstances that we find confrontational, and without even realizing, our body contracts and holds. And we may become so used to it, we're not even aware that our jaw is slightly clenched, that our shoulders are up, that we're contracting forward to protect all the front of our body, and that we're holding stress within the legs and the hips. So this is where, if we can really make ourselves feel cozy and nurtured and nourished by the props that we use and the space that we're in, it allows the body to slowly unfurl, and also integration of heart, mind with the body. So once you're ready, we will just actually take a moment I was getting a bit carried away there. We're just going to take a moment and just allow ourselves to come to the mat. I probably should have done that first, huh? So find a seat. You can be sitting on a chair with your feet on the ground, closing down the eyes, and just allowing yourself to feel the earth beneath you, the hands resting on your lap, how your body is placed, how you've arranged even the head above the shoulders. And then taking 3 centering breaths. We're inhaling through the nose and drawing the breath down into the center of the body where it dissolves. And following the exhale as it makes its way up and out back into the world. Gently allowing the breath to deepen. So it's a 3-part breath. So we inhale and feel the belly rise. Sides of the body lengthen. Shoulders rolling back. Exhale. Navel draws towards the spine and the ribs hug in. And the collarbone settles. Do another 5 more breaths like that. And then letting go of the deeper breath and allowing the breath to come back to its natural rhythm. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and prepare to come and lie down. So we want your prop, whether it be a cushion or the books with a blanket over the top, just to be underneath the shoulder blades. And then adjust what you have for the back of the head so it feels comfortable, you're not extending the neck too far back. And you have a choice, you can extend the left leg out straight, bend the right leg, and allow the knee or the thigh to rest down on the prop. Arms can come out at a T, in a T shape, or you may choose to rest them above your head or rest your hands on your belly. And once you're in position, just notice if you've inadvertently tried to or feel like that your body is straining at all. And see if you can readjust and change your shape until the body is feeling as if it's. So maybe that means stopping the video and getting something to place underneath the hands. If that doesn't feel comfortable. And then allow yourself to start to let go with every exhale. Every breath in, a feeling of lightness. Every breath out, a wave of relaxation moving from the top of the head to the tips of your toes. Inhaling, a feeling of expansion of the front of the body. Exhale, everything releases down into the props and into the ground. And you're noticing how, as your body softens and releases, it feels like the earth can take the full weight of your body and all of the baggage, the worries, the woes, whatever emotions you have, you can take it all. And we're going to be in this position probably for about 2 minutes. So with every breath, see if you can just focus on a steady, smooth stream. Reach the end of the exhale, you'll notice a pause before the breath arises and you draw it into the lungs. At the top of the inhale, there'll be another pause before the breath turns around and moves out. Allow your awareness to be in these pauses between the breath. Allow yourself to feel that you're in a safe, warm place. There's nowhere to go and nothing to do but to just rest. The awareness in the pauses between the breath. If there's a lot of noise going on, notice that. And then bring the awareness back to the pauses beneath the breath, between the breath. And then we're going to change to the other side after the next full breath round. When you're ready, the bent knee rises to the sky, the sole of the foot comes to the earth. And draw your left leg up, both feet on the ground, using your elbows to gently lever your body up to an upright position and swap to the other side. So draw your prop underneath, bending your left knee or the other leg, allowing the knee to come down towards the ground and onto the prop. The other leg is out long, and then gently come back down into your position. And awareness back to the breath. Choosing to commit to this radical act of resting. We very rarely see people rest as models in our life. And such a powerful way for our bodies to heal. So see if you can totally commit and honour your body by choosing to be as still as you can through letting go. If you feel tense or contracted or constricted, then rearrange the props until you feel totally supported. If you find it difficult to focus on the pauses between the breath because there is noise around you, feel as if there's a curtain that's dropped all around the body. Your body lies inside the curtain and is safe. And all the sounds and all the noises lie on the other side of the curtain. Dropping back into the pauses between the breath round. Explore the spaciousness that you find there. And then deeply listen to the inhale and the exhale as they arise and they fall. We're here for one more breath round. And when you're ready, allow the bent leg to rise. And then move onto the floor where you're, well actually you can remain as you are, like so with the legs bent. If you can, move the side props out of the way. And then just allow the knees to drop to one side together. Inhale them back to the center and exhale them to the other side. So this is like a windscreen wiper movement of the knees, just releasing the lower back. And you can choose to let them lie on one side for a few breaths before inhaling them up to the center and exhaling over to the other side for a few breaths. Or you can just move them backwards and forwards. And when you're ready, bring yourself to sit upright so you can roll to one side and move up. Just take a moment in this transition just to pause and let your body find its center, breath, finding its center. Notice any changes in the quality of the energy in your mind and the body. And then opening your eyes, we'll move to our next shape. So you have two options. This is legs up the wall or legs on a chair. So you may like to either shift or set up if you're able in your space. So I have a chair here which I'll use. I'm not going to use a prop under my sacrum, but you may like to, particularly if you're putting your legs up the wall. So you might like to have a cushion for your sacrum to rest on, or a bolster if you've got one of those, or you might like your wide books with a blanket over the top. And what you would do is put it about this far away from the wall, if that's what you're using. Sit at the end of the blanket like so. Bring the outside shoulder and then swing your legs up so they go up the wall, or in my case, onto a chair. So you can do this at home with your chair, and as I said, you don't need to have a blanket under your sacrum if you're using a chair. It's really up to you. What you might like is a blanket over the top of you as you lie here so that you remain beautiful and snug. Once you're in position, feel the weight of the back of the head on the ground, the weight of your shoulders, the contact between the earth and your arms and the backs of the hands, the support under the sacrum. And release with every exhale any tension held in the toes, the feet, the ankles, the legs. Allow the hands to be resting gently. Every exhale, a wave of relaxation, softening the body, softening the shoulders. Allow the jaw to release, the bottom jaw moving away from the top jaw. Everything sinking down into the ground. And then let go. And we'll be here for up to 5 minutes. This is a beautiful shape to use when you're feeling fatigued, at the end of working, feeling frazzled with the children. You can find 3 to 5 minutes. Just put your legs up. And then let go. Again, allowing the mind to fully engage with the breath, finding the space between the inhale and the exhale and the inhale. As you explore the pauses, notice as the breath stops, the mind stills. Allowing yourself to be totally committed to resting. There's nowhere to go and nothing to do but to lie here for another 3 minutes. In doing this act of rest, this act of self-care, we model it for our families, for our community, not only by how we show up after. Consistent practice of resting allows our energy to rejuvenate and our nervous system to deregulate, changing the way that we may interact with other people, the patience and the kindness we may have but we're showing how we do that for ourselves too. Keep holding for another minute. Then when you're ready, if your legs are up the wall, draw the knees towards the chest. Either roll to one side or scoot backwards. There's no elegance in this. For a couple of breaths. Come to sit. Noticing how taking time between one shape and another allows for the body to integrate the practices, for everything to remain mindful, and the silence that you find within can keep being threaded through into the next act or the next shape. So our last shapes is going to be side-lying corpse pose, which is quite popular on Wednesday evenings. So you will need your mats, you will need your folded blanket or books with a blanket or bolster or cushions, and it literally is as it sounds. We're going to lie on our side with support. So you may like something underneath your head. You definitely will probably want something over your body. So getting a blanket ready. For this, I'm going to use a bolster. So I want to bolster on this side. I'll show you why. And you may like a blanket or something for your arm, but just see how you go. Just swapping my microphone over to the other side. So, come to lie down. And you can have this stacked if you want. You can have two, lots of blankets or pillow and whatever. We're going to bring our knee up and onto the bolster or the cushion. And you may like to take some time to feel where do you need the support the most, particularly if you've got a smaller prop and it is a cushion. Maybe it's underneath your foot, maybe it's underneath your knee. You could have another bolster to rest your arm on, or in my case I may use a block. Make sure you've got your blanket. In class it's easier because I come around and tuck you in, but at least in your home you've got all your snug things that you can use. So you're coming over, you see my knees under, onto the bolster. Work out how you want this arm. You can just have the hand to one side, and if you've got another prop you can just rest your arm there. Doesn't have to be too technical, it's more of an art. And it's something we do all the time, but today we're doing it with consciousness, with mindfulness, and noticing how our body feels. For your breath, can you see any changes as you come to lie down, closing the eyes? Just watching the natural breath. We're not shaping it, we're not doing anything, we're just seeing what the story is. Is it softening and opening and expanding? Is there a quality of relaxation and softening that's occurring, where you're feeling a letting go? I work out my blocks. And so this is an opportunity to observe how our body releases stress and tension. And where does it sometimes keep it, even though we feel fully supported, fully nourished? So if you're cold like me, you can pull the blankets right up. And so this isn't necessarily about sleep. Again, we come back to the breath and notice what it's like to breathe through the sides of the body, the back of the body and the front of the body, and be held by one side. Are we able to let go and just rest without sleep? Be here for 2 minutes before we change over to the other side. And we're watching the breath, feeling the expansion of the inhale and the release and the emptying on the exhale. We're feeling into the pause after the exhale, feeling the next breath arise from this space, following the breath as it opens up the body, feeling it ripen to its fullness, and the pause where everything stills and then the breath dissolves, collapsing back on itself. Following the exhale to the next pause, observing the breath arising from the space. Keep going like that. And one more round. And when you're ready, you can either move your prop to the other side by slowly sitting up and shifting the bolster over or the cushions. Like so. Moving it to the other side. I'm just going to, or you can be like me. Just leave the bolster where it is. Bring my pillow with me to this side. My clock. And lying down, bring your head to the pillow. Bringing your top knee up. Rest on the bolster. Making yourself cozy, which I'm doing very inelegantly. Again, allow the body to settle and invite rest into every cell of the body through the breath. The mind following the breath. The mind stilling as the breath pauses. nowhere to go, nothing to do but lie here for the next 2 minutes. And while you're aware of noises around you, maybe thoughts that might be arising, notice them and then anchoring the awareness back into the pauses between the breath. 1 more minute. Awareness back into the body and letting it know you're about to move. What you're just going to do is to roll over onto your back for short Shavasana. Legs outstretched. Move the proper way if possible. Shift your body so that the hands can rest on the ground, palms facing up, allowing the feet to fall out. Allowing the practice to reintegrate for just 2 minutes. You can continue lying here in Shavasana for as long as you like, or if you would like to close restorative practice now, then roll over onto one of your sides, pausing there for a couple of breaths. And when you're ready, very gently, mindfully rising up. Come into a comfortable seated position, perhaps with your blanket still wrapped around you. And if it feels good for you, drawing your hands together at the heart center, taking notice of any shifts in your energy in both the mind and the body. Maybe thanking yourself for giving yourself this time of self-care, of radical rest. I hope you have a beautiful week. Namaste, everyone.